I never thought a few tiny pills could take over my life. I didn't imagine waking up one morning to find everything I knew about myself suddenly wrong. My body, my voice, my presence, all of it had shifted in ways I couldn't comprehend. And the scariest part? It wasn't something I could fight. The hormones had taken control, and I was just along for the ride. I remember the first morning vividly. I woke up feeling strange, lighter somehow, my body unfamiliar under the sheets. I sat up slowly, eyes half closed, only to notice a softness in my arms, in my chest, in my face. My hands felt delicate, almost fragile. A shiver ran down my spine, and I bolted upright, panic clawing at my throat. Something was wrong. I staggered to the mirror, heart hammering. And there she was. Not me. Someone else entirely. Long, glossy hair framed a face that had grown softer overnight. My jawline was delicate, my lips fuller, my eyes wider than they had ever been. My chest, pressed against the fabric of my shirt in curves that were undeniably feminine. My voice, when I whispered "what the hell," was higher, melodic, foreign. I pressed my hands to my face, feeling warmth and smoothness that hadn't been there before. My mind raced. This can't be real. This isn't happening. I must be dreaming. But every movement, every reflection confirmed it. My body was no longer mine. It all started the night before. I had found a friend's bottle of pills, labeled innocuously. They were supposed to help with energy and mood. I didn't read the label. I didn't question it. I took one out of curiosity, thinking nothing would happen. And now, here I was, trapped in a body I barely recognized, my own reflection staring back like a stranger. Panic gave way to dizziness, and I stumbled backward, clutching the edge of the sink. My heartbeat roared in my ears. My brain refused to make sense of it. Could it be permanent? Was there a way to reverse it? I tried to scream, but the sound that came out was unfamiliar, high, feminine. My own voice betrayed me. The following days were surreal. Life itself became a battlefield. I avoided mirrors, windows, anything reflective, because each glance was a jolt of terror. My apartment, once my safe space, felt like a trap. Every object reminded me of the life I had lost, of the body I could no longer call my own. Leaving home was worse. Neighbors' glances lingered. Strangers whispered. Every step outside was an exercise in anxiety and self-consciousness. I was terrified of being seen, of being judged, and of being exposed as someone trapped in a body that defied expectation. Work became a nightmare. Co-workers did double takes, their smiles strained, their questions hesitant. New haircut, one asked awkwardly, fumbling. I wanted to disappear. I wanted to run. Every interaction felt like a test I was doomed to fail. I tried to speak, and my new, high-pitched voice made me cringe. Emails, meetings, casual conversations, all felt alien, like someone else was pretending to be me. Friends called, worried. I couldn't explain. How do you tell someone that hormones have taken control of your body, reshaped your very essence overnight? I felt isolated, terrified, and embarrassed beyond measure. And yet, a tiny spark of curiosity lingered. A dangerous, thrilling thought: what if I explored this? What if I let this new body show me something I never knew? Alone in my room, I finally gave in. I opened my closet and, hands shaking, pulled out my sister's old clothes that had been left behind, soft blouses, skirts, and a flowing dress with faint traces of her perfume. I changed, every second a mixture of fear and awe. The fabric hugged my new curves, soft against skin that felt foreign, yet natural. My chest pressed against the material in ways that were undeniably real. The mirror, once my enemy, became my teacher. I brushed my hair, marveled at its silkiness, and tried simple makeup. A dab of blush, mascara, a soft lip tint, each stroke transformed me further. I whispered, almost nervously, "Okay, let's see who you are." And I twirled. I laughed, soft and melodic, a sound I barely recognized as mine. Fingers traced new curves. Each movement, each glance in the mirror, was an exploration. Nights became a laboratory of self-discovery. I learned to walk, to sit, to tilt my head just so. I practiced speaking, softening my voice, testing the melodies I could produce. The fear was still there, but it mixed with an intoxicating curiosity I had never felt before. Eventually, I dared to leave the apartment. I chose a quiet evening, a small park nearby. I wore a flowing floral dress, my hair loose, my makeup subtle. Every step was nerve-wracking. Eyes followed me. Whispers brushed past. And yet, compliments came, smiles were offered. A barista at a cafe told me I looked beautiful. My cheeks flushed. My voice, soft and melodic, responded, and for the first time I felt seen. Home again, I journaled. I wrote about fear, embarrassment, and shame, but also about curiosity, excitement, and discovery. I admitted my panic, but I admitted joy too, a joy at inhabiting this new form, at experimenting with movement, speech, and appearance. Each day was a lesson, a test, and a revelation. I practiced walking in heels, learning subtle hip movements. I experimented with different hairstyles, braiding, curling, pinning. I explored conversations aloud, imagining how strangers or friends might respond to this new version of me. Each night, exhaustion mixed with exhilaration. The first social test came unexpectedly. A friend from college texted, asking to meet at a cafe. My first instinct was to refuse, to hide, to avoid judgment. But curiosity and a burgeoning confidence won. I dressed carefully, choosing a fitted dress, brushing my hair into waves, applying soft makeup. I rehearsed my posture, my walk, my smile. The walk to the cafe felt endless. My heart raced, my palms were sweaty. But when I saw her, smiling warmly, my panic melted into a strange thrill. "Wow, you look amazing," she said. My cheeks burned, but I laughed, soft and melodic, and conversation flowed naturally. For the first time, I didn't feel like a stranger in my own body. I was living in it. The experience was transformative. I realized that the body I had feared, the hormones I had cursed, were offering me a new freedom. Weekends became adventures. I visited shops, explored cafes, tested subtle social interactions. Each encounter built confidence, each compliment reaffirmed my existence. Mistakes happened, of course. Voices cracked. Heels betrayed me. Old acquaintances stared in shock. But every misstep was a lesson, every interaction a building block of resilience and empowerment. Work remained a minefield, though. Eventually, my boss, noticing the change, called me in. My stomach twisted with dread. "Are you okay?" he asked, hesitantly. "Is this intentional?" I swallowed. My voice shook. I'm me. This is who I am now." The silence was heavy. Then understanding flickered. "Okay," he said, softly. "As long as you're okay. I support you." It was a small affirmation, but it meant everything. I had reclaimed my agency in a world that felt alien. Step by step, I discovered courage, navigating this transformed life with growing confidence. I explored fashion, makeup, and social interactions boldly. I built relationships with people who accepted me, both old friends and new acquaintances. Weekends were full of life, cafes, walks in the park, small gatherings. Compliments and smiles no longer intimidated me, they became affirmations. I stumbled, yes. But with each misstep, I learned. With each glance, each interaction, I gained strength. Slowly, irreversibly, I realized that I could thrive in this body, that I could exist fully without fear. Looking in the mirror now, I see someone strong, resilient, empowered. Someone who survived a transformation that began as fear and uncertainty but blossomed into self-discovery and liberation. My body, once a source of terror, became a vessel of exploration, expression, and joy. I've learned that transformation is never just about the body. It's about courage, curiosity, and authenticity. It's about facing the unknown, daring to explore, and discovering parts of yourself you never knew existed. Hormones may have taken control of my life, but in the process, I found freedom. Freedom to be myself, fully, unapologetically, joyfully. I am not trapped. I am alive. I am empowered. And I am finally, completely me. So if you're watching this, and you feel trapped, by circumstance, by fear, by your own body, remember this: transformation isn't an ending. It's a beginning. And sometimes, what feels like a loss can become the most profound gift of all. Because in the end, I didn't just survive the hormones. I thrived because of them. After the first overwhelming days, I realized hiding wasn't helping me. If anything, it was suffocating me. My apartment, once a safe space, had become a prison of mirrors, reflections, and constant reminders that my body was no longer mine. I needed to understand it, to feel it, to inhabit it, even if it scared me. I started small. Locked in my room, I slipped into my sister's old clothes, soft sweaters, skirts that swished around my legs, and a dress that smelled faintly of her perfume. The feel of the fabric against my new curves was shocking. My chest, soft and round, pressed gently against the fabric, and a shiver ran through me. My hands trembled as I ran my fingers over my face, tracing the contours that were now softer, more delicate, more me in ways I had never imagined. The mirror, once my enemy, became my teacher. I brushed my hair slowly, marveling at the silkiness and length, experimenting with styles I'd never dared to try. Braids, twists, curls, I tried them all, laughing quietly when some failed, marveling at the ones that worked. I discovered that my hands, once clumsy, now had a certain grace, the way they moved over my face and body almost hypnotic. Then came makeup. At first, I was terrified of ruining my appearance, of making things worse. But curiosity won. I applied blush to my cheeks, a soft eyeliner to accentuate my eyes, and a hint of lip gloss. With every stroke, I felt a strange empowerment. My reflection looked alive in a way I had never seen before. I whispered, almost shyly, "Who are you?" And the answer, softly, was me. Walking became an experiment. I practiced shifting my hips subtly, adjusting my posture, finding a rhythm in my steps that felt natural. Even my voice, once low and familiar, transformed when I spoke aloud. Soft, melodic tones emerged when I whispered to myself, when I practiced conversations, and when I laughed quietly at my own reflection. Night after night, I explored more boldly. I tested different outfits, combinations of makeup, hairstyles, even scents. Every brushstroke, every garment, every movement was a small revelation. The fear was still there, sharp and present, but it was tempered by something intoxicating, curiosity. The same body I had feared was becoming a playground for exploration, expression, and self-discovery. Eventually, I dared to venture outside, choosing quiet streets and parks where the risk of being noticed was low. I wore a flowing floral dress, light makeup, and my hair cascading in soft waves. Every step was terrifying. I felt eyes on me, imagined whispers following me, panicked at every glance. But I also noticed smiles, genuine compliments, small acts of acknowledgement that I had never experienced before. People saw me. Really saw me. Each outing taught me something new. I learned how to interact without fear, how to laugh without self-consciousness, how to move gracefully in ways I had never thought possible. With each small victory, my confidence grew. I began to understand that my body wasn't a trap, it was a vessel for exploration, a chance to experience the world in a completely new way. I started journaling, documenting every sensation, every emotion. Fear, shame, panic, but also exhilaration, curiosity, and a thrill at discovering aspects of myself I had never known. I wrote about who I was becoming, about the freedom that came with inhabiting this new body, and the power that came from embracing it fully, if only in private. And yet, the biggest challenge loomed: how to exist like this in the real world, with real people who knew my old self. That thought terrified me more than any reflection in a mirror. But each night, as I experimented alone, I became a little braver, a little more confident. I realized that the hormones had taken control of my body, yes, but I could take control of how I lived in it. By the end of that week, I caught my reflection and smiled, not with fear, but with a tentative joy. I was learning to exist in this new reality, to inhabit it, and even to enjoy it. The transformation that had begun as a nightmare was slowly becoming a journey of self-discovery, one careful step at a time.